without further ado, let's welcome Chase to the
Okay, guys, hey, thank you so much for this introduction. So I had to cut my hair today so that I look decent. Otherwise, I think come to the seminar with long hair, that will be very weird. Yeah, later people say, how come I look younger and younger? I say, it's not me, it's the filter. Yeah, so nowadays, when you look online, right, everybody looks the same. It's quite strange. Yeah, I have to cut my hair so I look a bit decent without the filter and I look still like myself. Okay, thank you very much, Vivo, for the introduction. I believe that there's actually one introduction slide that you're supposed to go through, but if you have already went through it, it's okay lah. We can skip that slide and shall we maybe go to the next slide? It's okay. Yeah, no, don't worry about that lah. It's okay. Shall we go to the next one? Yeah, so I believe that Vivo has already given an introduction of our company already lah to you guys, and I want to really jump straight into the topic, right? Because we don't have a lot of time tonight, and I don't want every seminar to overrun just because we want to share too much, But today I want to share like the meat of the thing. The meat of the thing is really like about numbers. But first of all, like, why are we here? Okay, one of the reasons why we are here today is to share about numerology. Now we believe that numerology, right, can provide some insights, and later on I'll also share with you guys, right, why is it so important, right, for us to understand numerology, although we are already sharing on Bazi, but why is it so important for us to still talk about this concept, and how does it link, to Feng Shui? How does it link to Bazi? Isn't it like, East meets West? Why is Hoseiki like combining the two different methods? So before I go on, right, how many of you guys are familiar with numerology? How many of you guys have done your own numerology before? Anyone? Yeah, if you have, please type 1. If you don't have, please type 2. Yeah, so quite a lot of people have. Okay, so later on I'll ask and now I have 2 numbers. Okay, that's fine. No worries about that. So previously we have focused a lot on traditional Feng Shui and Bazi topics. Today we're going to touch on a new topic on numbers, right? And as we are touching on numbers, right, I don't want to just use Feng Shui and Bazi to touch on this topic, but I want to bring in the numerology segment as well. Okay, so since you guys, many of you guys, right, have done numerology before, right? Can we go on to the next slide? How many of you guys, right, believe that, numbers have energy and vibrations as well? If you believe that, can you type 1? If you don't believe that, can you type 2? Wow, lucky today I never see any 2. That time I posted on Telegram, actually there are people that say no lah. So okay, it's very strange because if you type 2 right now, right, I would think like, okay, so today's topic about numbers, right? Then why are you here? It's very strange. I don't understand why are you here. Are you here because right at the end, then Vivo is going to give away some free gifts? So it makes me very stressed. It's okay lah, don't worry, you can stay for the free gifts, but it does give me a bit of stress if you don't believe and you are here. Later see will change your mind. Okay, no problem. Okay, so we did a poll and it seems that many people believe that numbers will affect their luck. In fact, 88% of people believe within the poll. Okay, so a lot of people have asked like, okay, Chase, is it really legit? Some of my friends, sometimes when you go out for dinner, right, then they paiseh to ask me to read their Bazi chart, but they will ask me like, certain things are like, hey, you know what, should I why should I believe in Feng Shui? Usually when I listen to this question, I feel very weird. So I always ask them like, there's no need for you to believe. If you don't believe, it's okay. Yeah, but the interesting thing is that some people will also ask me, like, is numerology legit? How many of you guys, right, that done numerology before, right? Your friends will ask you like, hey, how come you go for that course? Is it legit or not? Like, why do you go for that numerology reading? Do you feel it is legit? How many of you guys have friends asking you this question before? If have, right, can you type 1? Because there are like tons of people that asked me this question before. Like, hey, you know what? I went for a talk, and apparently, it's about numerology, as a practitioner, doing Bazi and doing Feng Shui, right? Do you believe in it? Do you think it works? Yeah, so even for you guys, there's also friends asking you this question, right? Hey, is it legit? Is it legit? So there's a long history. A lot of people, they've asked, and this numerology goes all the way back. Right? Okay, if you have 1111, it could mean a little bit of things within your personality. Later we will share a little bit on that. Okay, on life path. Later we'll share a little bit on that, but then you can understand lah. So it has a very long history and can trace all the way back to like thousands of years ago. Okay, and globally, right? Many of our Indian clients are very, very familiar with the concept of numerology. And I think that, in Western countries, many people are more familiar with numerology compared to Feng Shui. So in Feng Shui, right, is that in the Eastern countries, right, a lot of people are, quite into it. But, in the Western countries, they are starting to get into it more and more. But however, numerology seems to be more popular in the West. Okay, seems to be more popular in the West. So I would feel that, in respect to all forms of astrology worldwide, right, we should always show respect for each and every one of the craft, so which is why I place strong emphasis on numerology as well, even in our own readings. And the long form of discussion as to whether or not, they are the same, they are different, right, is that for numerology, right, sometimes, it goes also by that of the balance. So how many of you guys know that numerology is about balance as well? If you know that, can you type number 1? Yeah, so we all know that, numerology is about balance because, when you plot your life chart, right, you will have a certain diagram called a inverted triangle, which we will show you later via a case study. But in that inverted triangle, right, if you are missing certain numbers, okay, then that could cause a disruption to your life and also your personality. Now, how many of you guys know that, the numbers that you are missing? If you know the numbers that you're missing, right, can you type the numbers that you're missing in the chat right now? If you guys have done a life chart analysis and you know you're missing certain numbers in your life, okay, don't know missing number. Fel is missing 3 and 9. Fel, did I do a Bazi reading for you? Because I remember, was I the one that tell you you're missing 3 and 9? Okay, so some of you guys don't know, it's okay, no worries. So during the reading, we will share with you as well. Okay, Zen is missing 5 and 7. Okay, so when you're missing 3 and 9, right, it can be difficult for you to seize opportunities. When you're missing 9, right, it can be difficult for you to gain recognition. So if you're missing both 3 and 9, the kind of imbalance that you could have in your chart is that, right, it is difficult for you to gain success within the workplace because whenever, recognition is given out to people, right, and you're always not there, and you're also unsure how you should seize the opportunities, in the workplace. Meaning to say that, they can have like, 3 different opportunities in front of you, but if you don't know how to seize them, you don't know how to charge your clients, you could miss out on them. Okay, in the terms of Feng Shui, right, it is about qi as well, which is why when we have a certain layout in a certain place, say for example, if you have missing sectors, it could affect your health. So both in terms of Feng Shui and numerology, right, we talk about qi and energy. So this qi and this energy, right, can affect a person's life. Okay, when you don't have enough energy level, you cannot control. For example, one of you guys told me about 1111. With strong ability to control the 1111, it shows good leadership. With an inability to control the 1111, it can make you slightly a bit like what's that song? Frank Sinatra, is it? Yeah, so you know, your way or the highway. So everybody needs to go your way. Can be quite domineering and sometimes a little bit hard to change your mind. Once you're set on something, even if the idea is wrong, you know, it's very hard for people to help you change your mind. Okay, then about balance and harmony. Like I mentioned, missing numbers can bring about disharmony and disrupt the balance in a person's life. Okay, so when you don't have enough of a certain element similarly within a person's chart, how many of you guys have heard that, hey, you know what, my temper is very bad, should I be still getting fire element? How many of you guys have heard this from your friends before? Like, you know, my temper is very bad, then should I still be getting fire element? It won't fire element make my temper worse? How many of you guys heard this before? Yeah, I heard this before, right, Wayne? So basically, right, if you're missing fire element, right, sometimes, yes, it could affect. So it doesn't mean that when you have too much fire, right, you have a bad temper. When you're missing fire element, you also can have a bad temper as well. You have too much metal element, you can have bad temper as well. It really depends on what the element is. For example, is that element a unconventional intelligence? Is it really a kind of stress to you, or is it a kind of impatience to you? It depends on how it reacts to your day master. So a missing fire can bring imbalance to a person, and it doesn't mean that your temper is good or your temper is bad. Okay, it is, to read it is much more complex. You need to do a lot more analysis. But definitely the end goal of these two is the same. And what is the end goal? Is to bring about life improvement based on your own life chart. Okay, the end goal of every single 八字 session, right, is to bring about life improvement. Okay, we talk about life improvement. It's not about like you come for the 八字 session and then after that you ask me like, hey, okay, so when am I going to strike 4D? Nobody is going to ask me this question, right, ever again, right? Yeah, because since I started Hoseiki, right, every year there have been people asking me this question, but somehow I find that Hoseiki is a bit successful because the number of people asking me this question seems to be getting lesser and lesser. So which means that we are promoting the right values, right, in 八字and Feng Shui, right? So anybody wants to ask me this question? So no, right? Nobody will ask me, right, when I will strike 4D. So everyone agree, right? So the key is actually driving life improvement based on your life chart. If everybody agrees, right, please type 1. Okay. While that you're typing, please can we move on to the next slide? Thank you very much. So why Hoseiki is incorporating these two different techniques is because that, right, our mission is to help clients. We don't care what technique we use. We can use the East, we can use the West, we can use both the East and the West. Some people ask me, what kind of techniques do you use, to Feng Shui a house? I say I use everything because every house is different. If today I'm doing a landed property, how can I use only one kind of Feng Shui to do? I have to see from many, many different point of views. Why is it so? Because in Hoseiki, it is about comprehensiveness. Hoseiki is about kiasu-ness. Why? Because Hoseiki is a Singapore brand and Singaporeans are kiasu. Okay, so how many of you guys agree that Hoseiki is very kiasu? Yeah, so we are very, very kiasu. We don't want to make mistakes. So which is why, I'm from SMU. So, SMU is a very kiasu university. And the famous word that they use for SMU students, right, are muggers. Any SMU students here? Any SMU, anyone from SMU, any SMU alumni here? Any SMU alumni here? Yeah, okay lah, probably all unis, but in SMU, you hate to mug. So, okay, Joseph from SMU, okay, nice to see you. So in SMU, right, we call ourselves muggers, right? Because every time week 13, week 14 is like chiong already, must study, okay? So why is it so? It's because that, right, in Hoseiki, we call ourselves muggers as well. Why? We want to take a very comprehensive approach to help clients. We don't want to make mistakes, but as much as possible, mistakes confirm will have. So what we want to do is that we want to minimize them. And if there are, we want to rectify them for you. We want to do our best to help clients. And we are very sincere about it. So how do we do our best then? I don't want to just say. Just say is like everybody can say. Okay, but my point on being comprehensive is to use multiple disciplines to have multiple statistical point approach in terms of our analysis. We use numerology because we want to use its framework. Why is it is important to use the numerology framework? Is it for me? No, it's for you. Okay, strengths and weaknesses framework within the numerology chart, right, is much easier to explain to clients compared to the Bazi chart. I can go all day talking to you about the Bazi chart, but if you don't get it, you don't get it. But numerology, right, it is not possible for you not to get it. I wouldn't even say like, if you have studied, I'll just say that if your educational level is above that of primary 6, right, I'm pretty sure I can put the ideas across to you very easily. You surely can get it. Okay, so it allows the client to have a stronger control during the reading. I don't want you to sit there and just listen. It's very tiring for me to just tell you everything and try and convince you. I want you to learn the framework so that you are truly convinced during the reading. So which is why numerology, right, provides a very, very easy to understand framework. Hoseiki believes in making complicated things easy to understand. We are not like, some other disciplines. We make easy things difficult to understand and then we upsell you. We want you to understand and we want you to accept the framework as well. And similarly, what we will do is that we will match the framework of numerology, right, towards the Bazi chart, and we will show you how these two are closely related. I have Feng Shui for many, many Indian clients. Okay, many Indian clients. And a lot of these Indian clients, right, tell me that my reading and their priest reading is the same. We can do different disciplines. Okay, we can even do astrology, we can do all this. By the end of the day, you'll realize that a lot of the readings are very similar. Because different frameworks, right, bring about same results, right, if your objective to help the client is somewhat similar. Okay? So we want to use numerology in that sense. So that's why we believe in East meets West. And also, in terms of helping clients to improve their luck, numbers have a certain energy and vibration about them. Whether you like it or not, they do have. Okay? And numerology helps in terms of the selection of car plate and handphone numbers easily. Okay? Solving this aspect. While Bazi also helps in, certain numbers approach, like for example, marriage date selection. How many of you think that marriage date selection is important? If you think it's important, can you type 1, please? If you think marriage date is not important, can you type 2? If a lot of people type 2, then a lot of Feng Shui masters will be out of job because there are some Feng Shui masters, right, in Hong Kong, right, that do nothing but date selection. So imagine their business model very simple one. They take one chair, put one table, then the whole day what they do is just date selection. From morning to evening. Okay, then after that, bang gang, go home. So which is why it is so important. It is so important that they believe that date selection is so important. That's why they have one person just doing date selection all day. The business very good. Husband's bank account must be more okay. Yeah, that's for sure lah. That's for sure lah. But if his bank account has a lot of money, right? But you don't have access to it, right? Or he doesn't give you money, right? Then that's a problem as well. That's why I got to read his Bazi chart lah. Okay, just kidding. Let's go back to the presentation. So numerology helps in that, and also Feng Shui helps in the allocation of space in physical property. So we want to use both techniques to help clients achieve a fuller life. That's always our vision. Can we go on to the next slide, thanks? Yeah, so the mission of Hoseiki, like I mentioned, right, is really to help clients, right, improve their lives using astrology and spiritual wellness. Okay, now, 3 things that we really need to go through today. The first one is the law of attraction and the different aspects of numerology. Okay. The second one is the luck of phone numbers. And today we are going to impart you, right, the framework for free. It's called our trifactor framework. Okay. Why is it tri? Because there are 3 ways that we can use to analyze a phone number. And all 3 are important. And we need to use all 3 to help clients whenever we take on a job. Okay. The third one is testimonials of our real client. Not just testimonials, but we'll show you the breakdown of the entire case studies. So how many case studies are we going to go through today? 3. Why 3? Because some of you will say, you go through that one is a business person, but I'm not doing business. It is totally not relatable to you. That's very weird lah. So everything is relatable. But in order to make things even more relatable, we have 3 people from 3 different backgrounds. Okay, so 2 male, 1 female. Good enough, right? Yeah, let's move on to the next slide on law of attraction. Now, this law of attraction in Feng Shui and Bazi and Numerology, right, is very interesting. And I've shared actually multiple case studies on this, you know, in the previous seminars. But I didn't use the word law of attraction. But today I just want to ask, okay, ask Chase, but now it's Chase asking you. How many of you guys have heard of this term, law of attraction, before? Can you type 1 if you have heard of it? If you have never heard of it, right, can you type 2? Okay, so there are some tools. There are some tools. Okay, so law of attraction basically means that, right, if you believe in something, right, the power of that positivity, right, will bring you positive outcomes as well. That is the notion of law of attraction in the regular modern world. But in Feng Shui, right, you know, there is a different meaning. So there are some Feng Shui masters, right, that are so good. When they read your face, they can tell you where you stay. But there are very few people that have that kind of skill level. Okay, I'm going to be very honest with you. I cannot do that. So don't come to my reading and ask me to do that. Okay, I'll faint. So I'll be very upfront. I cannot. But there are some people that can do it. Why is it that they can do it? Why is it that they can do it? It's because that your face read, whether you like it or not, your face reading is somewhat linked to your Bazi. And your Bazi is somewhat linked to the fact that, you know, the kind of house that you will live in. How many of you guys believe that all 3 are somewhat related? If you believe in that, can you type 1? If you think, I don't think so, can you type 2? When I do Bazi and Feng Shui, right, as a practitioner, right, sometimes I want to do my best to help clients, and I get very upset, right, whenever I see people, right, suffering. So sometimes I will ask, you know, I see like certain people with not very good Bazi, and they have never seen a Feng Shui master before, and then they want to have a house, you know, that really can improve their luck. But when I Feng Shui their house, I realized that the house Feng Shui is very bad, but their Bazi chart also very bad. And then I'm beginning to think, like, you know, why is heaven trying to be funny? Like, why do you let people like that live in this kind of house? Like, what's your problem, man? Like, can't you do something to help? So I feel very upset. But as I understand the notion of you know, the connection between them, I begin to understand that, you know, this law of attraction works. Sometimes your luck is like that. You will just be attracted to this kind of house. It's very sad, but it's true. So similarly, when you have a certain luck, you attract certain kind of phone numbers that are not good for you as well. So I have a client that I feel very sad about. but I don't know whether she's here. But we try our best to help her, definitely. Then we improve the feng shui of her place. But here goes. She has a very poor, she has an okay Bazi chart, but her child luck is very poor. And she lives in a house that is very, very difficult, right, for her. So her Bazi chart already shows that she has very poor child luck. And her face also shows that she has poor child luck. How many of you guys know that face reading can tell whether you got poor child luck? If you know, can you type 1? This one I won't ask you whether you believe because I know it's true so I don't really care. But have you heard of that before? Okay, so some of you guys have heard Face also can see whether the person has poor child luck. So this client of mine, Bazi chart poor child luck, the face also poor child luck. Unfortunately, the house also poor child luck. And the most unfortunate thing is that, right, when she asked me to feng shui her house, she is 42. If I feng shui your house and it's 42, and then you have poor child luck, your house poor child luck, your face also poor child luck, can an honest feng shui master tell the client that it's okay, you still can have a child? You know how stupid that sounds? So it's sad because we want to try our best to help clients, but at this point of time, in this segment of child, it is impossible for us to help her to find fulfillment in her life in this aspect anymore. But of course, we can use other areas of her Bazi chart to see whether or not there are some other things that we can help her to improve. Like for example, do you want to adopt? Can we help you in this process by reading the child's Bazi chart? If you want, we can assist in that. Is your Bazi chart suitable for adoption? Will you be a good parent? So of course, we can help in that. What are the pitfalls of you being a parent? Yeah, but when you hit a certain age, that might be very difficult for us or very limited help that we can render in this aspect. But definitely for sure, there are other areas that we can use to still help this client. So this is what we call law of attraction. One thing leads to another. Okay, similarly in numerology, life chart and Bazi chart, right? It reflects the kind of personality you have, and this personality can attract certain energies coming to you as well. And why I'm telling you this is because I want you to take control today, because this energy, right, is time sensitive. If she has seen another person, there is more than one person doing feng shui and Bazi in this world, definitely you can find somebody else. But 10 years before, 20 years before, if she has already done that, she could have avoided a lot of pain in her life. Okay, so this is the point that I want to tell you. And the second thing that I want to tell you is that, right, this personality of yours, this life energy of yours attracts certain energies to you, and sometimes they can attract the kind of phone number that is bad for you. So what we want to tell you today is the kind of impact this kind of phone numbers can have. Okay, so that's the next thing that I want to tell you about. So if you're resistant to change, there could be a certain phone number that you have right now that is reinforcing this. If you have a very bad temper and often suffer from body aches, there could be a certain phone number that reflects that as well. Now, similarly, if you have certain liver issues, okay, and unable to focus on your work, there could be a certain number that is causing this as well. And that can also be shown in the Bazi chart. Similarly, from your phone number, but also from your Bazi chart. Okay, and this is what we call the law of attraction. If you understand this concept already, please type 1. If you still don't understand this concept, don't tell me. Okay, then I'll feel very stressed. Okay, if you don't understand, I won't feel angry, but I'll feel stressed. Okay, so without further ado, shall we move on to the next slide? Okay, thank you guys for reinforcing that. So I feel slightly happier. Today I feel a bit stressed because for dinner I ate chicken rice, high in calories, bad for people that are old like me. So I should have eaten salad. Yeah, it helps me to de-stress. Okay, so different aspects of astrology, right, is and numerology is in 4 different areas. So the first part is about your birth date. So many of you guys have done the numerology, right? And most of you guys have done that life path analysis, correct? most of you guys have done that, right? So if you have done a life path analysis and you know your life path number, yeah, later on you can share with me. Okay, later on you can share with me. So in this birth date, not only can you know your life path number, your life chart, we call it, you can also know your karmic cycle. Meaning to say that, right, you have to know exactly, how many, okay, I wouldn't say exactly, but you have to know, like, whether or not you have to do a lot of good deeds in your life in order to balance that of your chart. Some people don't need to do as many good deeds. Some people need to do a lot. Okay. How many of you guys have heard of the karmic cycle before? If you have heard of it, can you type 1, please? Now, why is it that some people need to do more good deeds? It's because that within their life chart, right, there's a lot of clashes and imbalances. While doing good deeds, right, you can actually balance up your chart by reinforcing certain areas that could be missing in your life. For example, a person that's missing in number 8 completely can be without empathy. So when you don't have much empathy in your life, right, doing good deeds, reinforcing the karmic cycle, can help you to grow that empathy back. Seeing how other people suffer and also seeing how fortunate you are is very, very good for balancing a person's personality. Okay, now the next one is actually about a person's name. So numerology is closely related to name as well. So how many of you guys know that numerology is closely related to name? If you know that, can you type 2? If you don't know that, can you type 3? Oh God, okay, there's a lot of 3. Okay, we don't have a lot of time, but I will share a little bit. So you know that sound, right, is actually closely related to music. And music and mathematics, right, used to be very closely related back in the olden world. So, in modern society, Singapore, we see that, it's different. The two things are very different. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that are very good in music, right? That they will tell you that, oh, I cannot do mathematics, I'll die. Yeah, how many of you have heard this before? I'm very good in music, but I cannot do maths, I'll die. Yeah, if you have heard that before, can you type 1? Yeah, but in the past, actually, music and mathematics are actually from the same school. So names produces sound, okay? And because names produces sound, right? Names is also a very, very important part of numerology, which is why in all aspects of people teaching numerology, right, there's a lot of instructors that they will also focus on name as well. Okay, and name itself within the topic of numerology reflects that of potential and your inner desires. Okay, and of course, the third thing that it brings about is also your handphone number, which in modern world can mean that, affecting your career, health, and relationship. And of course, the last part is for people that own vehicles. It also affects your career, wealth, and travel luck. How many of you guys have changed your handphone number before, to improve your luck? If you have done that, can you type 1, please? Yeah, I see a lot of people typing number 1. I see a lot of people. Don't know mine okay or not. Okay, no problem. Take Chong Lai. Okay, yeah. So a lot. Jolene also type 1. Jolene, change before but don't know will affect own luck. Okay, okay, no worries. We hope that the framework will be able to help you. So, can we move on to the next slide? The next one that we're going to go through is actually the tri-factor framework. So, the first thing that can affect your luck, right, is your numerology inverted triangle. Okay, numerology inverted triangle in simple terms, in simple English, just means your life chart, and it's just a set of numbers that's crafted based on your birth date. And the second one that you can understand is this concept called the Bagua. How many of you guys know that Bagua is also closely related with numbers as well? If you know that, can you type 1 also? Wow, power, man. So there's a lot of people that understand that. So within that, Bagua analysis, right, can tell you some of the numbers can bring about certain issues with your life. But of course, what is the difference between Hoseiki and many other brands? The difference is that we are very kiasu. Remember, Hoseiki very kiasu. So what do we like to do when you're kiasu? We like to collect more information before we jump to conclusion, right? So which is why we need to use the Bazi chart to check the numbers that we have selected using the numerology framework and the Bagua framework. So we use numerology framework, we use Bagua framework, and then after that we combine together and we check using the Bazi. Kiasu enough or not? Go kiasu ho. Yeah, so 3 different frameworks. So shall we move on to the first? Shall we move on to the first one, please? Numerology. So we want to use your birth date to calculate your life chart for you. That's the first thing that we want. Okay. What can we do with that? Okay. We get there. We're quite kiasu. So we want to find out your strengths and weaknesses with your current set of numbers. But other than that, we also want to find out, right, your missing numbers as well. Okay, we want to find out your missing numbers as well. Missing numbers from your life chart can easily explain some of the weaknesses that you have within your life. Okay, and then we want to formulate a set of positive numbers for you. Okay, we want to formulate a set of, positive numbers for you. Okay, using that of your life chart. Later on, I will do a live analysis. And how many of you guys have heard of the number 1 to 9 life cycle before? How many of you guys have heard of the number 1 to 9 life chart cycle? Yeah, so you guys have heard of. So, how... Okay, wait. Don't type already. Don't type already. Yeah, I'm very stressed now, okay, because I want to talk, but then you continue typing. Then I want to ask you another question, so I become very stressed. Okay, so the next one. How many of you guys know that your life chart number is in that of number 1? Anyone in number 1? Okay, Judy's in number 1. Okay, so number 1. What does number 1 stand for? If you know what number 1 stands for, right, can you type in the chat, please? If you know what number 1 stands for, can you type in the chat? Then I'll elaborate a little bit more. So if your life cycle is in that of number 1, basically you are a natural born leader. You like to lead other people. Okay, that is within your blood, within your personality. You could have strong management skills, or at least you would love to have. How to calculate? Later. Wait. Done. Okay, then second thing is that, right, you are somewhat confident as well. But number 1 also has a flip side. So let's say if you have a lot of number 1 within your chart, the issue that you could face is that, right, you could be sometimes a little bit egoistic, and sometimes you are unable to delegate well because you're angry, upset, and you want to be, and you're a little bit impatient. And while leading a team, right, when somebody does not agree with your way, you can be a little bit straightforward, blunt, direct, and sometimes, you just want everything to go in accordance to what you feel. Okay, so your team members are unable to influence you otherwise. So this is the issue with number 1. Okay, number 2. Number 2 is actually a strong communicator. So anyone whose life chart cycle is in that of number 2? Any number 2s here? Carol is number 2. So if you're number 2, basically you can articulate well. Wow, Eileen is number 2. Wow, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah, so number 2, it has strong adaptability as well. Basically, when you talk, you somewhat are able to bring money to you. Okay, how to calculate? Very hard to teach you this framework today. Today, the concept is on phone number. I can teach finish phone number, I'm very happy already. I cannot teach you this framework today. But I promise you, we will have a seminar that teaches you this framework, okay? Yeah, no problem. Okay, so number 2, basically, you are a strong communicator and you like to, delegate using your mouth. Basically, when you ask for help, people would try to help you. How do you know your life chart number? Have to calculate. Okay, have to calculate. Yeah, so perhaps a different session we can talk about this, but I want to talk about this first because we need this basic concept before we go on to the phone number. Okay. So, however, right, when you have too many number 2s within your chart, it can mean that you are easily wavered and slightly indecisive. Okay, slightly indecisive. Okay, how many of you guys are in debt of number 3? So the number 3 framework people, right, they are more sharp and they get straight to the point and they can seize opportunities. So number 3 people, they are generally not too bad in seizing opportunities. And usually if they have a lot of number 3 in their chart and they still have number 2, right, it makes them very good salespeople. But one of the bad things about number 3 people is that they can be very, very impulsive and sometimes, not very considerate to other people. Okay, so they do things without thinking much. When you cannot control that number 3 power, right, that happens. Number 4 people, right, Wan Ying, yeah, which is why we use different frameworks to analyze. Okay, the Bazi chart can tell your luck cycle better. But definitely when we put the two together, right, we use it comprehensively by seeing a very huge macro view with the numerology. And then after that, we want to see micro a little bit, right? We nail down using the Bazi chart, okay? So this is, of course, our method. Of course, you can read the entire chart using Bazi. Of course, you can read the entire chart using numerology. But combining the two can allow our clients to understand things in a much faster speed, okay? Because for us, it's all about educating the client. Okay, so the fastest way that we can educate clients is to combine the two different frameworks. And number 4 is what we call delight. So what exactly is delight? Means that this person loves to study, break things down, try to understand them. But one of the issues with number 4 is that, they overthink. Number 5 is what we call visionary people. So these people have strong vision. Okay, then they are able to foretell what will happen next, not in a astrological manner, but in a way that they want to plan ahead. Okay, they want to lead a team, similar to 1, but they are more visionary than 1. 1 wants to lead, 5 wants to set a direction plus lead. Okay, number 6 people, right, basically they are like a money bag. So they love to, collect their wealth, accumulate assets, and they are usually rich people. Okay, but one of the issues that they have is that, right, they can be a little bit of a perfectionist. So the part about family life, right, could suffer for number 6 people. Number 7 people, right, is what we call prosperity. So these kind of people generally, right, they are like a magnet. They attract people to them. So if you're a number 7 person, right, generally I would feel that, you have good benefactor luck. And when I read the Bazi chart, usually it shows the same thing as well. How many of you guys are number 7 people? Any number 7 people here today? Thomas, all right. So Thomas, usually number 7 people can be very, very insightful. But of course, the negative side of number 7 people is that when you have too many people, right, that are your benefactors, you become cold and indifferent. So sometimes your benefactors can become your enemies if you don't treat them well enough. Okay. How many of you guys have experienced that? Benefactors turn enemies. When you have too many benefactors in your life, benefactors sometimes demand a certain kind of relationship. And when you cannot give in to that kind of demand, right, possible for them to become your enemies as well. So number 8 people, right, generally they are like, how many of you guys are number 8 people? How many of you guys are number 8 people? Who is a number 8 person here? Okay, everybody remember his name, Danny. So why is it important for you guys to, Iris also number 8. So how many of you guys are number 8? Can you type here? So Danny and Iris, number 8 people. So you guys please remember their name. Why is it so? Because number 8 people are what we call the world's best friend. So this number 8 personality, right, makes you a very responsible and reliable person. Okay, however, the flip side is that your empathy for others can sometimes cause you to lose money or lose direction. Okay, that's the issue about the number 8. And number 9 people, right, generally they have a bit of everything and they are what we call the wild card or the longevity star. So with the number 9 star, right, it is easy for this person to achieve success. Okay, how many number 9 people here? Well, of course, the flip side of number 9 person is that, right, to achieve success, sometimes they are willing to do anything, everything. So the key thing for number 9 people is they need to have good self-control. Now, why am I going through all the numbers and their personalities? Because if you have missing numbers within your chart, according to whatever that I've gone through just now, right, the missing numbers, right, can affect your luck, and your certain life chart will vibrate and give you a certain kind of energy that is missing in certain areas. Take for example, if your entire chart is missing in that of number 6, it can be very difficult for you to accumulate wealth because you don't know how to solve issues using your skill sets. You like to throw money to solve problems. Okay, and you probably don't have a very good concept of finance as well. You just want problems to be solved and you're a little bit impatient. Yeah, when it comes to solving issues without money. Okay, now when you lack number 3, you can sometimes lack the drive to seize opportunities. And when you miss certain opportunities, you tell yourself that, it's okay, no worries, I'll have the next one. But is it really okay? If it is really okay, why will Hoseiki have so much business for Bazi? Because people feel upset after they miss opportunities. So you still feel upset. That's the problem. But the thing is that, at a point of time, you just tell yourself that it's okay. Yeah, so this is, the kind of feeling that you will have if you have a missing number 3 within your chart. And if you don't have number 7, it can sometimes means that, right, it's difficult for you to attract benefactors, and you will find that in times of need, you always need to depend on yourself. And life is so tiring, and you realize that, and then you wonder why everything has to be dependent on you alone, yourself, solving every single problem. Okay? And if you are missing number 9, then you realize that why is it that you always do that small little thing that piss your boss off, right? And in the end, you don't deserve the kind of recognition you have compared to another colleague. So however, how hard you work, you only get half the recognition. Yeah, so you do 100 marks, then you only get 50 marks. Correct. Teresa, correct. The missing number within the inverted triangle. So when we compare that within the Bazi chart, we realize also that, there's a little bit of, negative benefactor luck within this person's chart, and this person is somewhat also missing number 9 within the numerology chart. So when we realize that, then we will know that, okay, it's because of certain issues that you have within your personality. That's why, you have missing number 9 star, and that's why you're not getting the recognition you deserve. Okay, so this is how we combine the 2 different readings together. But however, when you realize that there are missing numbers, grouping the missing numbers together, only if it makes sense, of course, can sometimes help a person to understand what their lucky numbers are. Okay, what their lucky numbers are. Okay, so without further ado, right, shall we show you this case study? Shall we show you this case study in the next slide? Yeah, so this next slide is this person that is born on the 8th of October 1988. Okay, so we have plotted the numerology chart like that. So how many of you guys think that this numerology chart is good? If you think it's good, can you type 1? If you think it's not good, can you type 2? Okay, so this person is basically a very kind person and she loves to help others. If you know who this person is, right, what you should do is that you should be her friend. Because whatever you ask of her, right, as long as it's not too often, most probably she will help you. Okay, most probably she will help you. But one of the issues that she's facing is that, right, she's missing number 4, missing number 5, and missing number 6, and missing number 7 as well. So this person most probably, because of missing 4, 5, 6, right, maybe cannot control the spending very well. And since she's overly empathetic, right, it's also easy for her to get cheated by her friends. And one of the issues that she faced is that, right, she might even get cheated by the same person over and over again because she feels that, right, maybe the person is suffering as well, and they probably have a very good reason for cheating her. How many of you guys have friends like that? If you have, can you type 1? How will you help them? Judy, how will you help this kind of friends? Yeah, your friend, the friend that you know is a businessman. So if you know this kind of friend, right, how will you help them? Yeah, correct. It's Didi Maman here. So one of the ways that we want to help clients, one of the ways that we want to help clients like that, right, is that we want to find out their lucky number for her. And apparently, this person's lucky number, right, we cannot put all the missing numbers together because the one of the lucky numbers that we can think of is 456. But putting the 3 numbers together, right, cannot be done because sometimes when you put certain numbers together, right, they have a different synergy altogether. Okay, so after working out, there are 2 numbers that are good for her. One of them is actually 562. And the second number that is good for her is 461. So 461 can help. Can you guys type all the questions in the Q&A, and then after that I'll answer them all together one by one. Because if not, then I'll faint trying to go through the seminar and answer the questions at the same time. You don't want to see me faint, right? I just ate chicken rice. Yeah, so it's quite oily. So you don't want to see me faint, right? Halfway I faint already. Then the seminar cannot continue. So the first one is actually 562, right? Allows her to keep wealth, and the second number that allows her to keep wealth is 461. Definitely, there are a lot of areas that we want to solve in her life, but Bibo, can you help with the question about where the Q&A box is? Thanks. So definitely, there are a lot of areas that we want to improve. Is it possible for us to one-shot solve all the problem? There are many ways that we can solve their problem. We can use home Feng Shui, we can use everything. But if we want to use the phone number only to solve the problem, right, then we will focus on one issue first. And the biggest issue that she has in her life is wealth accumulation. So with that, the 2 numbers to help with that is 562 and 461. And although both are good, but we will choose 562 because 562, right, is very good for the husband as well. So if you guys are, if there are any ladies here, right, if there are any ladies here who are single and you have 562 within your life chart, all the guys, okay, if you know that, Caroline, so this is not for those who have attended multiple times. And if you cannot catch, right, it is totally normal. But don't worry about it because we are just trying to explain one concept. This one concept means that, right, from this numerology chart, we can find out the lucky number for you. Okay, we can find out the lucky number for you. And the try concept, you need to understand that from the numerology and also from the Bagua system and from the Bazi chart, 3 different things is how we derive your favorable handphone number, or whether or not this number is good for you. You can analyze using this tri-factor framework as well. It is normal if you cannot get it right on the spot, but we have a certain course that's for this purpose, the numerology course. The seminar is too short for me to go through everything. Okay, so for a full numerology course, we most probably need like 1 entire day. But now we're just telling you the framework of how it works. Don't kanjong if you cannot get, it's normal. Okay, there's nothing wrong with you. Yeah, you're perfectly fine. Okay, just go through first and listen to the case study patiently. So we have a client with 562 within her chart, right? And she's a housewife. Okay, so for those of you ladies who have 562 within your chart, and you are single, right, and you type 1. If you know you have 562 and you are female, can you type 1? Because these are the women, right, that will be what we call Wang Fu. Okay, you guys see, these are all the Wang Fu women. These are all the women that are good for husband one. 562 generally means that, right? So single guys only, if you're married, you don't go and find them. So for those guys, I think here a lot married. Yeah, correct. That's the thing. So if you're married, you don't go and message them. But yeah, so you need to plot the chart. Okay, you need to plot the chart out. Okay, so 562, we have one case study particularly for 562, right? Is that this woman, right, is a housewife and the husband is a businessman. But this husband is very generous and always spend, always keep spending. But the wife will keep his money, right? Some portions of it or whatever she can save, and she will help him to invest. So recently, right, she invests until so pro, she take the money out, right? She take the money out and then she opened a art gallery. And guess what? After opening the art gallery, her art pieces are selling like hotcakes. So much so that the amount of money, right, that she has made from investments. So I'm not saying that she is richer in terms of the income compared to the husband. But what I'm saying is that the husband keep bringing money in, but the amount of assets that the husband accumulate is less than what she has accumulated just from trading and also from investing in properties and also from investing in her own art gallery. Okay, so her entire business, she's not working, but her entire asset churning business, right, accumulates more assets than the husband who is a businessman. But of course, the money comes from the husband. Yes, comparing the business itself and whatever she's doing, she accumulates more money than the husband. This is the power of this kind of wife. So there are 3 that typed just now. Y'all can go and message them. Up to y'all. Okay, so that one is not my problem. Okay, then for this client that lacks wealth luck, we recommend her to have a phone number in that of 562. And that is how we derive. We solve one problem at a time. You use too many things to solve too many problems, end up you solve nothing. So what we want to do is that we want to pinpoint and solve one thing. And by solving this one thing, right, we recommend her to have 562 within her phone number. Okay? So this is the first part of the framework. Now, for the second part of the framework, let's go to Singaporeans' favorite food. Second slide. Okay, I'm just kidding. It's not really a food. So it's actually a very lame joke, very quite cool joke. So there was one time I told a client, like, okay, we're going to use the Bagua analysis to help you solve a certain issue. And the client is like non-Chinese. So I don't know whether he purposely played a prank, but he said Bagua. So I was like, no, it's not Bagua, it's Bagua. So are you messing with me? So it's quite interesting because it was an Indian client. Okay, it's not funny. Yeah, sorry guys. Okay, let's go on to the Bagua technique. So in the Bagua technique, right, we can use that to also find out your favorable numbers as well. So other than numerology, right, what we want to do is we want to use this Bagua technique to find out the health of your current handphone number. Okay, the health of your current handphone number. And it's very interesting because when we read your current handphone number, right, we can use it to analyze the law of attraction that it could have, on a person's chart. Now, just for example, later on I'll show you 3 different case studies. Okay, and maybe if we have time, why not we do a little bit of live reading? Anybody wants live reading later? Like, who wants live reading later? Okay, then later we do a few if you have time. Okay, I quickly go through because I think Bibo is showing me the 2 hands running this thing. I think it's called overrun. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to chiong right now. So in the Bagua technique, right, basically Bagua means 8 different sectors. And in 8 different sectors, right, every single sector represents something good or something bad. But however, right, not every sector is good. Okay, so naturally there are about 4 sectors that are okay or good, and then there are 4 different sectors that are bad. So Shen Qi generally means life generating, could bring about benefactor luck and happiness. Heavenly Doctor or Tian Yi means like, wealth or certain things like marriage, good relationship. Yin Yin generally means like career success and longevity. Okay, so Fu Yin generally means like stability within a person, but in terms of phone number, sometimes it can mean stagnation because times are different. You know, in the past, maybe like hundreds of years ago, people actually liked stability, but right now, stability means stagnation. How many of you guys don't mind your salary stagnant for 10 years? Yeah, I don't mind. If you don't mind that, can you type 1? If you mind, can you type 2? Okay, nobody typing 1, right? So no stagnation, right? Yeah. Or you want to live in the same property for like 30 years. So don't upgrade one. Okay, one, never mind. It's okay, Chase, I don't need to upgrade. I don't need to be so rich, it's okay. You know what I want to do? I just want to watch Netflix all day, stay in the same property. I don't need to upgrade one. I feel very happy. Nobody like that, right? Okay, so that's the problem with stagnation and mishap. Okay, so Liu Sha has to do with mishap. Generally, people affected by this sometimes can have very nasty romance issues. Okay, very nasty romance issues. So a little bit like Lady Gaga, bad romance. So I have a case study on that as well. And we have Hohai, which means like accidents. Some people always like injured here, injured there, but they're not sure why. And one of the things that these people will face is also legal issues. Okay, they say the wrong thing, especially when you have 292 within your chart. You say the wrong thing. Today I just one girl, right? She has 292 in her chart. Okay, so like to talk, but sometimes say the wrong things. Then kana jialat. So then the next one is actually 5 goals, which we call suspicion. Okay, 五鬼. So that, although it helps with creativity, but it brings about certain change in a person's life and can make a person a little bit absent-minded. Okay, and the last one is life ending. Sounds very scary, right? But if you can control it, it means investment luck. Okay, so all the numbers are there. If you want to like screenshot, okay, so if you want to screenshot, right, don't screenshot my face. But if you don't mind waiting for the replay, you can watch the replay as well. Okay, so yes, there is a it will be posted on YouTube. So if you want to be aware of when this is being posted, right, can you subscribe to our Hoseiki YouTube channel? Yeah, so this is the entire Bagua analysis, and using your current handphone number, we will be able to analyze, whether or not you are suffering from these issues. But then some people will say, they will say that, right, okay, according to this framework, is it that all we need to do is to choose numbers like 1, 4, and 6, 7 in the entire handphone number? Then we can solve the problem. How many of you think like that? If you think like that, can you type 1? Okay, yeah, Dex is not gullible. Number 1, it is very difficult for you to find such a number. Number 2, do you not want investment luck that is in Jieming? How many of you guys don't mind investment luck? How many of you guys don't mind investment luck? You don't mind having it lah. If you don't mind investment luck, can you type 3, please? Okay, I don't mind lah. It's okay for me to have good investment luck. Yes, that's the thing. So which is why the third factor comes into play. Okay, because we still have to see whether or not your favorable numerology number is inside correct or not. So then the third factor comes into play. Shall we go on to the next slide? The next factor is actually on the Bazi chart. Oh no, sorry, it's the special numbers first. Okay, sorry. So there's 0 is actually a very special number because it brings about the power of emptiness. Okay, and then because I added this slide in a later stage. So number 5 is a special number also because it means skip. So let's say if you have a 0 within your chart, it depends on the kind of profession that you're in. Okay, if you're in certain profession that 0 is good, okay, it might not be very bad. But if you're not in this profession, then basically it can cause you harm. 0 is good for astrologers, okay, because we need a certain kind of emptiness within us. Okay, in search of the spiritual realm, we might need a little bit of 0. But however, if you're not in this line of work, well, it's better for you to be a little bit more down to earth and do without the number. Okay, it depends on where the number is as well. Okay, and number 5 generally means skip. If you have too many number 5 within your handphone number, you are skipping a lot of things. Okay, it can mean that the numbers that are helping you are not enough. Okay, shall we move on to the next slide? So the Bazi holds the key as to whether or not this number is good for you, because then we also need to analyze in the full set of numbers, right? Using numerology and using the Bagua system, can your Bazi take it? For example, can you work 12 hours a day? It depends on your Bazi. It depends on your constitution, whether or not you're able to take the stress, your mental health as well. Okay, reading the Bazi chart is the most important process in selecting the right number. Okay, by understanding your strengths and weaknesses, right, we can know whether or not this number is fully suitable for you. So a little bit of recap. Then we have the numerology, and then we have the Bagua system, and then we end off by analyzing using the Bazi system. This is what we call the tri-factor framework. Okay. Now, in the next slide, we're going to go through on the case study. Let's move on because we don't have time. Now, the first case study is about this very interesting client of mine, right, who is a litigation lawyer. So how many of you guys have like lawyer friends that talk a lot? If you have lawyer friends that like to talk non-stop one, right, can you type 1? So I met this client slash friend, right, in a event, and throughout the event, he talked non-stop about how good he is at fighting litigation cases. Like, I'm so good. I can shock the opponent into thinking that I'm going down this way, and then after that, when he go down this way and defend himself, right, I'll trick him, and then he will step on his own toes. Then I'll be like, aha, I caught you there. I caught you. So this is what you mean. You made a mistake in court, and then you whack the person non-stop. So he shared all the stories during the dinner. He's a very good friend, and he's a very nice person. But during a dinner, sometimes you cannot keep talking because people need to eat, right? And keep talking for what? His handphone number starts with 98, and he loves to talk. Very serious. Okay, so it reinforces his personality. But is it truly bad for him? No, it is not very bad for him, which is why we didn't ask him to change the handphone number when he engaged us to solve some of the issues that he's facing at home. Okay? 98 is great for people that needs public speaking. So in the first case study I show you, changing phone number is not for everyone. But however, from the phone number, it can sometimes reinforce a person's career. But however, it brings about other issues. There is no Feng Shui solution, right, that is 100% foolproof and 100% no issue one. This phone number can use. Why? Because of the certain career that he's in. Is it so wrong for him to be argumentative? Is it so wrong for him to like to talk? Nothing wrong. But what is the issue is that this number at the same time causes bad temper, poor health, and frustration. From his face reading and his Bazi chart, 100%, I tell you, confirm he sure have bad health and frustration in his life, especially with his marriage life, especially with his children in the future, especially also causing certain issues with his health. Why? High cheekbone, very, very competitive. Everything also want to fight. Everything also want to win. Can you be with this kind of husband all day? How many ladies can tahan this kind of husband? If you can tahan, please type 1. Yeah, you are also jiping. Yeah, guys should go for you. If you can tahan this kind of husband, please type 1. If you think you can't, please type 2. And don't be ashamed of typing 2. It's very normal. Okay, it's very normal. If you type 2, it just means you are a normal person and you are honest. Okay, straight to the point. Numerology chart also has 292. So this person is a super good speaker but attract enemies. Every single day he needs to think like, what is this person going to do to me? Because he made too many enemies already. What is this person going to do to me? What is that person going to do to me? How come I message this person but he don't reply me? A bit overthinking already, right? A bit crazy. So good career luck but very poor mental health and very poor relationship with his family. So his health will definitely continue to deteriorate as he grows older due to the more and more enemies that he makes. Now, the first thing that we do for him, right, is to restructure his home feng shui, which we will talk later in the next slide. And the second thing we do for him is the name change. And then after that, we also change his car plate number to improve his benefactor luck. But definitely what you can see in this case is that, right, every single solution that we do, we aim at one or two different things only. We don't try and too aggressive or too ambitious to solve a lot of things. Okay, so after doing all that, his wife says that, right, his sleep patterns kind of improve, you know, and because his sleep improved, right, from these certain solutions, he's able to manage his emotions better. Shall we move on to the next slide very quickly? So he lives in a corner terrace house lah. So this house, right, is not prepared for period 9. So how many of you guys have heard of period 9 before? You heard of period 9 before? Can you type yes? Okay, so this house, right, is not prepared for period 9 at all. And because of the luck of the house changing, right, it can actually affect, you know, the overall luck of all the occupants as well. Because landed property feng shui is very, very important and the effect is very strong. That's why if you're living in a land property today and you are not prepared for period 9, right, I'll tell you that you surely need to feng shui your house. Okay, you don't need to find us, you can find anyone, but you surely need to do. So one of the solutions that we have done for him due to the change of luck, right, is to change the location of the door, because he's also considering renovation as well. So we did the two things together, minor renovations and also minor renovations to the facade. And at the same time, we changed the location to the door to mitigate the clash. Okay, this is a little bit complex. There's no way I can talk about this easily right here in a few minutes. If I can, you know, I'll be called lecturer of the year. But I know I can't. You know, I try my best to simplify things, but this is not an easy concept. So luck of a house is very complicated. It is not the unit number of your house. We need to calculate the unit number of your house, inverted commas, using the feng shui method, matching the number of stories you have, matching the facing of your facade. And we add the three things together and we see whether or not there's synergy. And however, there is no synergy for him due to the change of period 9. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we change the door location to mitigate the clash, so that the fire element will generate earth will generate matter. So we create synergy in that case in the sense of a door opening. Okay, in short, we change the luck of the house by changing the location of the door. This is the fastest way, and I wouldn't call it easy because it costs money, but it is the most foolproof way to help. Although it cannot always be used, but it is the most foolproof way. The second one is that, right, we change the type of gate as well, because every time you have a certain gate, right, it cannot be fully closed due to that the number 5 need to exit. So there's a number 5 star that's actually in negative energy, but we need the negative energy to get out of the house. Okay, so he loves privacy, but it blocks the number 5 star. So what we're going to do is that we're going to do a gate that is slightly open. You know, you can do that kind of gate that is like closed, but it's slanted on the side. So at least the number 5 chi still can escape from the house. At the same time, you retain a certain level of privacy as well. He placed a fountain as well within the house, which is kind of weird. We don't encourage that. We switch that to a fish tank. Okay, and if you want to place fountains in a house, we need to choose a certain location. Usually it is in the garden outside your house, but of course we need to then see whether it's safe for you to put the fountain there. Number 4 is that, right, corner terrace that has irregular shape can cause issues. So there are some triangular forms, you know, of this property that's a little bit complicated. And what we do is that we change the landscape slightly to improve the luck of the house. That's the things that we have done for his home feng shui in general. Much more than that, of course, it's like 4 pages of recommendations, but definitely these are the critical things that we have solved for his house. Okay, but from the phone number, we can see his parts and we can see his issues. And from the parts, we see a deeper analysis of the issue. And then after that, we see the house and we fix the problem. Okay, so this is for case study number 1, and which he also did the name change as well. So can we go on to the next slide? So the issue with name change is that, right, he has a dragon zodiac that relates with names that has clouds, air, or anything from the sky that can sustain it with energy and power. But the problem is that his current name has a flash, which is the heart, Xing. Yeah. So 星字旁. So then this heart, right, represents a meat, kind of a meat diet for the zodiac, which is actually more coherent with that of tiger zodiac and doesn't go very well with dragon. So one of the issues that he faces is that it reinforces the health issues that he currently faces, because he already have like frustration issues, bad temper issues, and then he has like certain health issues as well. And this name change, this name just reinforces that. So the next thing that we did for him is also to change to a more suitable name as part of our strategy, sustaining his health and increasing his longevity of his professional career, which is very important for a lawyer, because 讲难听一点，手停口停 in a way for him, 口停口停. Yeah, so in that sense, he actually needs his health to be able to go to court, fight cases, meet clients, solve problems. Okay, if it doesn't work, that's it, the end. Yeah, end of his income. So we need a strategy to increase his health so that his professional career can be lengthened. Okay, now the next case study is a very interesting case study, maybe more relatable to most people, is that of this mechanical engineer. So the wife actually find me for Feng Shui. It's very interesting because this mechanical engineer suffers from what we call stagnation. If I'm speaking too fast, it's because that I'm out of time. So if you think that you cannot catch what I'm saying, right, please type your questions in the Q&A, okay? Yeah. The number in his phone that causes a stagnation is 88 and 11. And also, he loves to invest, but his Bazi chart is not that strong. He cannot exactly catch that investment star. So that 69 within his handphone number, right, also caused him some issues. Why am I not displaying the full number? Everybody understand why I'm not doing that, right? So because I have some people messaging me asking, Chase, how come you never show the full number? So you all know I cannot do that, right? If you all understand why I cannot show the full number, can you type 1, please? Thanks. So at least I know that, you know, you're not weird. So you understand why I cannot show the full number, right? Very weird, right? If I show the full number. Yeah. Overthinking, because these are real life cases. I cannot show you the client's number. It's just weird, okay? Yeah, so this person has a overthinking personality within the Bazi chart. Okay, so presenting him with a lot of number 4 within the numerology chart as well. He's a very investigative person, but he overthinks a lot. So the issue with this person is that, right, he has a lot of stagnation already within the Bazi chart. Okay, so there is also 696 within his numerology chart, which stands for good health, good wealth, but easy to lose the wealth at old age. Now, what's the problem with this person? The problem with this person is that, right, he loves to dabble in margin trading. How many of you guys, know friends who lost like a lot of money in margin trading before? Like, can you type 2, please? If you know friends, who lost like super a lot of money. Yeah, I once have a Thai client, right? He's very, very rich, and he's an investment banker. And then he showed me his portfolio. It's like, Chase, I just lost 490K today. And then I say, oh, Thai baht. And they say, no, USD. And then I was like, oh, it's okay lah. Don't sell your stocks. Maybe one day it will go back. And say, bro, cannot. This is not loss. This is called realized loss. Realized already. And I said, how come so serious? They say, because I play margin. Yeah, then I say, okay lah, it's okay. Don't worry, Tom. Yeah, your father is rich. Do not worry. Yeah, he owns many, many chemical plants. There's 2 things you can do. Raise out your hand, ask him for more money, and then promise him not to do it again. And second thing is probably you can sell one of his plants to help you. But that's such a joke for him. But it's a very small sum to him. It's like a small fry sum. But he's just upset for that day only. Then the next day, he's still going to buy his Patek Philippe. So for this guy, right, mechanical engineer, right, his issue is that he dabbles in margin trading, although he's not very good in investment. And the risk of his investment is being triggered even more because there's a 69 that's within his handphone number as well. Now, one of the issues that he's facing is also that, right, he is a very, very studious person in the past, and he can study very well. Okay, and that means that he has a wealth of knowledge in his brain, but he's not putting this into his work. And he sucks at his work because he's not putting the hours in. If you think that I go and feng shui your house, and then you still don't put the hours into your work and your life can improve, right? You are dreaming. The problem with this guy is his personality problem. He doesn't understand that he needs to put in the hours into his work to solve his 八字 issue. And the issue with 八字 is low confidence. There's no self-efficacy. And he tries to find the way to solve his self-efficacy issue by dabbling in margins, hoping that he can 10x his returns and then 10x his returns again and 10x his returns again. That is a dream of an 18-year-old boy who has not grown up. Okay, but when you're 40 plus, it's weird. It's weird already. So the wife come and ask for help. The issue is that, right, how we actually try to solve all these issues together is after reading the 八字 chart for him and the wife, we got him to agree to set up a certain, amount of whatever money he has, and also some portion of his salary, right, to his wife, who is so much better in investments than he. The wife is a housewife, but the wife is so much more astute, so much better. I say, okay, just let your wife do lah. Okay, you just go and work, and then you just try your best to make the best out of your work because you're a smart guy. Okay, so one of the issues that he faces is also the handphone number that drives him in stagnation. Okay, he doesn't know why he's not motivated at all, and he feels stagnant in his career. Even when there's opportunities to grow, he just feels that people are obstructing him, people are blocking him, not giving him enough opportunities. How many of you guys have met like negative friends like that? You can type 1 if you have. Then what we do is that we change the handphone number, and also we ask him to change the name, and we improve his home feng shui as well. Can we go on to the next slide? Shall we move on to the next slide? Thanks. Okay, so the zodiac. Sorry, the previous slide as well. Is there a property one? Oh yeah, okay, this one first. Thanks. So in this slide, right, we see that actually the house is facing a door of jamming. So remember that I tell you about door and then this Bagua system where we used to analyze the house is somewhat also related to the Bagua system we used to analyze the numbers. And in this case, the house they're living in, right, is also a restaking house. And the number he has is also a restaking number. So the two combines into one single problem, right? Because they kind of like contribute to each other. So what we do is that, right, there's no way for us to change the door this time because it's an apartment. How many of you guys know that you cannot change the door of an apartment easily? If you understand that concept, can you type number 2, please? Yeah. 这样的话，我 Q&A 就不会有这个问题了。Nobody will ask me, how you didn't change the door this time? Because it's not possible for me to do that. So what we did was that, right, we try and improve the forms of the house because, forms activate stars. So when the stars are not very good, we change the form. Okay, no choice. So we declutter the walkway, because they have, all these empty boxes there. They buy the Dyson stuff for like so long already. The empty box is still blocking the walkway. I don't know why. It's very, very messy, the house. So we clear the entire walkway, right? And we increase the qi using plants. Okay, and we reform the balcony area as well. So there's a second inflow of qi into the house. So it includes the entire qi flow of the house. The second thing is that, right, one of the issues he's facing frustration in his life is that he's worried about the children. Okay, but the children's room is not well organized. Okay, the bed heads are in the wrong area, causing poor health. And the children, some of the children, they have 3 children, so some of them are also sleeping with him and the wife. And I feel that, if it affects the spouse relationship at this point, which is affecting them, I want them to put like all the children together because they're old enough to sleep on their own already. Okay, last time in the past, babies and then they sleep until they're big, but now they can't change the habit. So I asked them, okay, why don't you win them back, get them into the room, into their respective rooms, and then you can have the room to yourself, the bedroom for the spouse. Okay, so what we did is that holistically, we improved the children's health by giving them the proper bed head space and the proper beds to sleep on. And then using improvement of the children's health, right, we improve his mood overall. So we also reallocated his study area, which used to be in a very bad area. So we relocated it to an academic sector, and that will also help to improve his career luck overall. And the last thing that we did is, of course, to audit the house to fit the period 9 Feng Shui. Okay, so then the next thing that we did for him is to improve the name as well. But of course, we also changed the number lah. So this time around, we did 3 things for this customer. Shall we move on to the next slide? So in this one, right, the issue that the name faces is that, right, this zodiac of the goat of his, right, is given the royalty treatment. Okay, so he has a name called Guo within his name. Okay, I mean the word called Guo within his name. So this Guo, right, generally is a royalty word that should only be given to certain zodiacs like dragon or tiger. So the name change, right, is actually to reduce the false ambition. Okay, reduce the false ambition and keep his mind straight into proper commitments instead. Okay, so that 他可以做一个正常的 husband. Okay, now the third one is a very interesting case study. Let's move on to the third case study. So the third case study, right, is this female that I've met, right? Then she's a CFO, a super successful person, but very confused. Okay, more confused than Confucius. So the phone number of 16 and 61 is causing issues within her marriage. Okay, but she didn't come to me for marriage at first. She says she's facing a career crisis. Then I said, you are a CFO. Why are you facing a career crisis? So she said that, oh, I'm very tired. Okay, so there is a horse and rat clash within her career pillar and also spouse pillar. She's very tired of her finance job, but she's very good at her job and she wants a career change. So the Bazi reading is actually to find out the real career path. And you know the shocking thing within the Bazi reading session is that, right, she told me that she wants to become a financial advisor, but she's a CFO for many years, and now she wants to become an FA. How many of you guys think it's a good idea? Can you type 1, please? How many of you guys think it's a bad idea? Can you type 2? The issue that she faced is that she has no ability to become a financial advisor. She's going to get slaughtered by her competition, and there's no way that she can, gain trust of clients because she has a very strong personality. I think if she asks you to meet her via an appointment and you're late, she will cancel the appointment. Can be financial advisor now. I think quite hard. This kind of personality a little bit hard. Yeah, the risk analysis can bring over, but FA do sales very hard. Precisely. So her personality is not suitable to do sales. Okay, but what is her personality good for? If she is a director of an insurance company, she will do very well. But you first need to do sales well first, then you can get promoted to become director, right? That's the problem. But what is she good for? She is quite good for starting her own business, and she has great business luck because she's very smart and very operational, and she can get things done. She says that, oh, but I love to talk to people. You are a CFO. When you talk to people, it is different from you are an FA. Why can you not understand that? It's very different. It is 2 different things. You are from a position of power and you're talking to someone else. Now you're doing sales and you're talking upwards. It is totally a world of difference. So we told her that, it is not possible. So from the number, we understand that she has instability in her life, both in her career and also in the spouse life. And in the Bazi chart, we also see instability. These 2 things together. And during that of her career choice, we also see that she's very confused about what to do. Okay, then the first thing that we did for her is that we did a mole analysis. Of course, after the Bazi, the first thing is that the mole analysis to remove her career obstruction because she has what we call a poor health and a poor spouse mole. a lot of moles on the face, but these two areas I feel need to remove immediately first. The second thing that we did is that, right, we changed the phone number to restore relationship issues. She's facing issues with the husband because she feels that the husband, right, is too stagnant. Is it really a very bad thing? Your husband is stagnant but is financially independent. Okay, but yes, it's true, he can be better, but it can be worse also, right? So if your husband never do anything wrong and is still stagnant, there's no need for you to consider changing. I mean, from a Hoseiki point of view, don't need to be so serious. You never do anything wrong, but it's a little bit stagnant. I think maybe don't need to go until the extent that you need to change husband first. Also, standing on the side of the husband, I think don't need to change first, right? How many of you agree that maybe don't need to change husband? Can you type 1, please? Yeah, then those people that don't want to type 1, I don't want to hear from you. So, the first thing that we ask her is that probably, this husband is not very bad. Why not you just chill? Maybe I can help you to read the husband's chart. You just relax. Don't do anything weird first. And then when we read the husband's chart, technically it's not very bad. It's just that it's not very stagnant. It's just that it's very stagnant, but it's an honest person. Okay? So, we asked her to change the phone number, restore some form of stability in her mind. Hopefully that, it will not drive her to do something more extreme than that. And then the next thing is that, right, we change her name to improve on the stability of her lashes within the chart. Okay, so that she will not feel so fickle-minded. So this is that of the third case study. I don't have any more slides for the case study. So these are the 3 different case studies that we made. And what are the learning points from these 3 case studies? In the next slide, we will cover. Come on, let's go. Now, it goes to show how important Bazi reading is, because our impression of ourselves may not be correct. This is why Bazi reading is very important. Okay? How many of you guys have friends, right, that feel that they are extremely humorous? I'm so funny. Yeah, everybody loves me. I have great benefactor luck. But whenever he says that to you, right, inside, you are thinking inside your heart, right, you are so shameless. You don't talk any sense at all, and you are so insensitive, and you don't care how your friends feel, and you take out their secrets and you say during the friends, our friends gathering, and you think you're funny. How many of you guys have friends like that? If you have, can you type 1, please? Bazi reading, right, is to set these people in place, but definitely every one of us could have a certain false impression of ourselves, because there are 3 things, right, about a person: who you are, what your friends think of you, and so what you think of yourself, what your friends think of you, and who you really are. We want to draw a certain alignment in these 3 things so that we then can solve the problem. So the first step is always, okay, let's align back first. After we align already, we find out the issues. And then after that, we nail down on the solutions on how to solve the current problems that you're facing. Okay, so who is right might not be right. Who is wrong might not be entirely wrong. This is why Bazi reading is super important. Okay, although we're talking about numbers, but it's closely related. And Bazi reading allowed us to understand, where this client is going wrong. Okay, maybe help her to understand about herself as well. Help her to understand about her husband as well. Okay, and also help her about, finding out her own career direction. As a business owner, she can have more success. So a macro assessment like Bazi reading, right, can benefit her together with a handphone number change. And then after that, then we go and look at the name change, okay, which is more holistic in solving a person's problem. So Bazi reading can make any form of Feng Shui, right, more holistic. Okay, so this is why Bazi reading is super important in any form of problem solving. Okay, let's move on. Now, many of you guys, right, might not have your Bazi read. So if you haven't had your Bazi read, right, is it okay that maybe you can scan the QR code and then maybe some kind person within our team might get back to you by today or maybe tomorrow? Okay, latest tomorrow afternoon. So if you want, please take some time to scan the QR code. Yeah, scan the QR code. I'll not scan my face. If you scan my face, it can't go anywhere. Okay, have everybody scanned already? Okay, I think let's move on. If you can't catch the QR code, right, then people can type the link over there for everybody as well, so that they can use the link to go on. Now, the first thing that I'm going to talk about, right, is phone number change. So we have talked about analyzing of your current phone number, and when we read the phone number, right, we can easily understand, right, some of the problems that you are facing. So of course, then when we do a phone number change, we will always, right, find out about the 八字 of a person. Although the phone number change does not include a 八字 reading, but we will still read the 八字 chart of the client in order for us to understand that the new number fits the client or not, and what are some of the challenges that this number is causing for the client as well. So the understanding of your number and your current 八字, right, can let you understand the obstacles that you're currently facing. So some people, they have numbers that, you know, give them career challenges. Some people have numbers that give them wealth challenges. You know, they cannot save money and they don't understand why money keeps going out. You know, they invested in this coin, then the entire coin just disappeared. Yeah, then, you know, relationships. Sometimes, you know, certain numbers are causing relationship issues. They don't understand why that, you know, they always feel that their partners are not good enough, but maybe they are. And then when they find a new partner, they find that the old one is actually better. Yeah, so there are people facing multiple confusions in their life because there are certain energies, right, that are similar to their own 八字 chart. This is what we call the law of attraction. But how we can break the law of attraction is to find an external partner to tell you that this phone number is actually a reflection of your chart. But if you don't want it to be a reflection, we can break this energy flow, right? We can break the energy flow by choosing a more suitable number for you. So how we want to break the cycle is that we want to not let anybody control us by resuming control. And how we resume control, right, is to pick a certain number, right, that is not reflective of your issues in the 八字 chart. So Edmund asks, what if someone have more than one handphone number? Okay, then we need to see the purpose of this handphone number. Is it for your personal life or is this for work? So if this is for work, then we want a handphone number that lets you suit your personality talents. For example, you are a real estate agent. You know, there are tons of real estate agents, right? They come to us for phone number change. And we want a number, right, that can allow you to speak well, build good relationships, have longevity in your work. Yeah, so then whatever that you tell the customers will trust. And also it allows you to have a stable personality as well. Whatever you say, you will try your best to deliver, otherwise you'll feel bad. You know, that's important because, you know, I don't like agents that say things and after that don't do. It's very bad. Okay, so and then some of them will ask me like, why am I not doing well? Because you never say what you do. You never do what you say. And then every time you say already, you cheat your clients. And they're very shocked why you manage to see that. Reason why is because that it is within their 八字 chart as well. And also sometimes within their luck cycle. Okay, so when we look at a handphone number, we want them to have a more stable personality. This is for work. And for family, we need to see the kind of issues that they are facing. So let's say they want more harmony within the family, right? Then we have to build a number, right, that reinforces on this. So the personal number will reinforce on relationships, and the work number will reinforce on work. So this is what we do for people that have multiple numbers. So the selection of this new number, right, will help you to achieve better luck. And what we will do is that, right, we will assess your current number first. And then if you want to change number, right, you can go to a shop and then you can snapshot you know, a few pages of numbers that they offer. And then we will find the most suitable number for you from within those pages. Now, we don't provide full numbers, right? It's because that it is very difficult for you to find the number, right, that suits you perfectly. Okay, it is a very, very difficult task. And 八字 number refers to your lucky number? No. Basically, we use numerology chart. We also use this Bagua system, and we combine the two, and then we will find a certain number, right, that suits you based on your 八字 chart. This is the entire process that we have explained just now in the tri-factor analysis. Okay, so the selection of your new number, right, is done by you. You will give us a few pages to choose from, and then we will choose the best number from you for within these pages. So this is what this package of phone number change is about. And the interesting thing is that, right, the entry price is actually not expensive. We're doing this service for 288 for really a lot of work, because there's a lot of people that look for us for handphone number selection. And today there's an additional 12% off as well. So the code that you can use for the additional 12% on top of the 288, right, is actually Seminar 12. Okay, it is until 19 April 2359. So is it okay to put the link of this service there? So if you guys want to sign up for the service, what you can do is that you can click on the URL given, and then you can check out before 19 April 2359, because then the offer will cease to exist. Please remember to use the code Seminar 12 when you check out. Okay. Yeah, Bibo, can you put the link over there? Or if you already put ready, can you just tell me you put ready? Thanks. Okay, thank you very much. So this is for handphone number change. Now let's move on to the next one. Now then, of course, when we talk about handphone number change, right, the next most important thing for us to also understand, right, our 八字 reading as well. Why? Because today's seminar, right, although it's about numbers, but somehow, right, to foretell your luck, right, we will also need other areas such as the 八字 reading. That's why from the case studies, we can actually explain, right, from phone numbers, we can somehow see the issues you're facing. But in order for us to take a deeper analysis, we need to see your numerology chart. We also need to see your 八字 chart. This is why having a good phone number is very important. But knowing your 八字 is, of course, more important than having a good number, because it will improve also other aspects of your life, like the rest of the other case studies that we have mentioned. Other than changing the client's phone number in the case studies, right, what we will do is that we use their 八字 to see their deeper problems, and we solve using name change and also home feng shui. Okay? How we are actually a little bit different is that other than 八字 reading that we do for clients, we also do numerology reading to combine it together. And also we combine with face reading, and plus the last thing that we do is basic floor plan analysis if applicable. Okay, like I mentioned, we are very kiasu. We combine everything together, and then after that we do one shot for the clients so that every single piece of information is coherent with each other. Okay, it's very interesting because in today's offer, right, the 八字 is combined together with the bracelet, because a lot of people, they also want to buy the bracelet from us. But when you buy two different items, right, the price is actually 678, which is, I would consider it a little bit high. So what we intend to do in this bundle is to give a bundle price. Okay, so the bundle price is actually 538, which is a good discount from the 678 already. But to make this sweeter just for this seminar only, right, what we do is that, right, we give a 12% off on top of the bundle price. So the 12% off is the code Seminar 12. Okay, so please use this code to check out right now or before 19th of April 2359. So just today, right, we have one client, right, that actually came for 八字 reading. Okay, and other than the case studies that we mentioned today, every day we're trying our best to help clients with their life as well. So this client had an issue with, child pillar clash. So she wants to have children but cannot have. Okay, then her temper is quite bad and is affecting her relationship, because she has multiple relationships that ended very badly because her temper issue. Yeah, her temper issue. And the last issue that she's facing is also she has extremely low confidence in sales. So she's doing sales, but she has extremely low confidence. But when we read her chart, we realize that she do have talent in sales, but her luck is very bad. So if I've bought this package already from last seminar, can I change to this? I'm not sure which one you have bought already, but maybe we can try and help you. Which package do you buy in the previous seminar? Is it the same as this one? Okay, never mind. Let's continue first. Let's continue first. So this person's issue is that, right, bad spouse luck, poor confidence in sales. But when we read her Bazi chart, we realize that her sales stars are very, very strong. Okay, her sales stars are very, very strong. So the first thing we did is to tell her that don't worry, continue doing sales. You will excel in it, but you will meet obstacles. That is the problem. Okay, that is the problem with you. But don't worry and don't give up. So at least we confirm with her that her route is correct. And the second thing that we do is that since you connect so well with people, go into this field or a recruitment company. Okay, go and join a recruitment company, right, and become a headhunter because you will do very well in it. It suits her element, it suits her Bazi as well. And for a handphone number that reinforces her issue, right, we also ask her to change. But within the Bazi chart analysis, we build a roadmap for her to improve her career. And we also advise what is the best year for her, right, to have a child after she has a proper relationship. Okay, so this is how we help our clients every single day using this framework, planning for their career, also giving some advice as to when they can have their child, and giving some advice also on the issues that they have on their relationship by letting them understand the clashes that exist. Okay, so this package, couple reading if don't need wedding date, includes what? Couple reading if you don't need wedding date, right, just includes 2 times of the Bazi plus bracelet bundle. That's all. So if you don't need the wedding date, right, it's fine. Then we just won't do the wedding date for you because the wedding date we're giving it away for free anyway. Okay. Yeah. So for plan, no problem. If you have, just bring. Then we can do for you because it's very easy for us to do a basic floor plan. Okay, not to worry. So this is the kind of service that we'll provide for the Bazi plus bracelet package. Now for the next one, then we have the name change package. And the name change package, right, is very interesting because you have seen in our case studies, right, how it can actually make real change in a person's life. So what is the framework that we use to do name change is that, right, it is not, giving you a name that sounds pro in Chinese, having 2 Chinese characters after your surname that you totally cannot recognize, cannot read, is not called a name change. It is called anyhow change. So the first thing, right, that we need is to check for zodiac clashes. The second one that we want to look for is elemental synergy. The third one we want to look for is numerology synergy. And of course, it needs to sound proper. And the last one is, of course, the second last one is, of course, it needs to have a certain purpose. That's why you don't go and create a name for yourself that you cannot even understand. Then it serves no purpose, zero purpose, okay? And the last step is, of course, you need to go through the 49 days ritual of a proper name change. So there are 3 different names generally we will give for your name change selection. And a detailed report will also be given after we crafted them on why we crafted these names and the positive effect that you will bring. And then from within these 3, you can select one of them that you like most. Okay, so there will also be a detailed report on your Bazi chart as well. And there will be a 49 days group map PDF file that we will give to you on how you can implement the name change every single day for until 49 days. Lastly, we will give a Zoom session on for you to help you to understand a bit more on how this name change is going to impact your life and what are the other things that you need to look out for in your Bazi chart. And the price for this name change, right, is 1388. However, today we are giving 1288. Okay, so it's a very, very good price, good discount that we're giving. But on top of that, of course, then you can still use the Seminar 12 code. Okay, so why is the name change, right, a little bit pricey? It's because that the name change has a lot of steps. As you can see, the zodiac step, the element step, the numerology step, the sound step, the purpose step. 5 different steps. Cannot be done easily. It's a lot of man hours, and we have a separate team to do the name change because there are a lot of calculations involved, not just thinking of 3 Chinese words. You do not come to me and I close my eyes and after 30 seconds, 3 Chinese words appeared on a piece of paper. This is not called name change. It goes through a lot of man hours and very, very detailed calculation. So on top of that, you will get 3 different choices as well, and also a detailed report on how we crafted it. Okay, so which is why the price is 1388, but today it is 1288 only. And for this name change, right, you still can use the 12% off code, which is seminar 12. And in the previous case studies, we also explained, okay, why we crafted the name change for these clients. It's because that there are certain areas that they have inherited some issues from. For example, the 98 that caused the litigation lawyer certain issues, and we use the name change to solve some parts, but we maintain that number because he needs it for his job. Okay, so this is how we use name change in people's life. And the last one is, of course, I always ask people, what is the best Feng Shui item that you can ever buy? The best Feng Shui item you can ever buy is your house. Is your house. Why? Because we can read through all the problems that you have in Bazi. We can tell you the lifestyle changes you want to make. But the two most critical thing to improving your luck is name change and home Feng Shui. That's it. They are the strongest, they are the most powerful, and they are the thing that people usually are most resistant to do. Nevertheless, I promise you, I will not make your house look like a Chinese restaurant. Okay, so there's tons of people always asking me this question, like, is my house going to look weird after you give me your report and then I follow everything? I don't want my friends to come to my house and they see this ling long like all over my house. Okay, first of all, I do not upsell you anything. Anybody that know me, right, when I visit them for home Feng Shui, right, will know that I don't do that. Okay, I go there, I'm very chill. The most that I'll ask you is how are you doing, and then can I please have some water, because it's quite warm and I came all the way here. The first thing that we do is we do 2 detailed analysis when we enter the house, okay, by knowing like you and your spouse and kind of issues that you're having. So after we have a very macro view, right, the second thing we're going to do is to do certain enhancement towards the house by solving the issues that you are facing. For example, one of them, they are facing a house clash that is not coherent with the period 9. What we do is that we will change the location of the main door in the litigation lawyer for the landed terrace corner house. That's what we did for him. Okay, so we prepare you from period 8, shift to period 9. And of course, we will also activate in your wealth sectors from within your house. It comes with a free Guardians of Wealth, which is worth 548. Okay, so the thing that you will get is a pre-visit analysis, an on-site visit analysis. So I'll go there physically. There's no other way to do it. I cannot ghost there. I cannot ask you to on your camera. I have to go there with my luopan. Yeah, so then the next step is that I will provide a detailed report on the assessment and the recommendations. Okay, Bibo, can you help me to answer the questions, please? Thank you. And the date, then I'll provide 3 date selections there for you. Okay, the first date selection is stove installation date. The second date selection that you will get is renovation. And the third date selection is your move-in date. Now, the price of this service, right? The price of this service, right, is actually 3258 altogether for your Feng Shui, and also the Guardians of Wealth, and 2 different Bazi analysis. So the total price is 3258. However, right, today's price, right, is 1388 only. Okay, on top of that, you still can use the seminar 12 code to check out. Okay, so on top of that, you can still use the seminar 12 code. Okay, so 1388 is the package price, and on top of that, you can still use the seminar 12 code. The offer is until 19th of April 2359. Okay, the offer is until 19th of April 2359. If you are interested, please go ahead and sign up for this package. Okay, shall we move on to the next slide? Now, lastly, before we go on to Q&A, right, I just want to share with everybody that we are actually introducing courses in July, and we are doing 2 basic courses first, and after the basic courses, then we will have intermediate, advanced theory. But however, it will be in these two different routes. So the first one is numerology. So we will only do numerology basic. But for 八字 and face reading, right, we will do basic first. Then we will advance to intermediate. And then we will advance to advanced level. Okay, 3 different levels for 八字. But of course, then the first class we can only do basic. There's no intermediate class at the beginning. So for those of you guys who are interested in our courses, right, because there's a lot of people that say that they have certain level of interest. Today we have a early bird sign up form. So the early bird sign up discount is 50%, 50, not 15, 50. So let's say if you sorry before I cannot remember the details of the offer. When will the 50% end? I can't remember that. Can you type it out for them? Because I seriously can't. I'm not trying to mess with you. I really can't remember. Okay, first week of May. Okay, thanks. So it's until 7th of May. Okay, until 7th of May, first week. So if you're interested, right, in the courses, please go ahead and sign up from within the form. I'll be very, very happy to host all of you early birds, right, into okay, actually it's not a really early bird, it's super early bird. Yeah, form not available. Wow, that's very strange. Can you do like a quick check? People, can you do a quick check as well as to whether the form is available or not? If the form is not available, right, maybe we can provide my WhatsApp number for them so that they can message me. For anyone that's interested in the courses, maybe you all can message me if the form is not available. So sorry for the technical error, but please feel free to send me a WhatsApp message, right, if you are interested in signing up for the super early bird discount. So we will do 2 routes, as I mentioned. One is numerology, the other one is 八字 and face reading. Okay, feel free to sign up for the super early bird discount. The price is 50% off. Okay, 50% off. Okay, shall we move on to the next one? Okay, so the next one is actually Q&A. Okay, now I'm going to take in all the questions. Okay, no problem. If you cannot, okay, no problem. I think you need to set it to public, Bibo. Yeah, it could be working, but you might need to set it to public. Okay. Wow, how come Bibo, you're so secretive? Set it to secret. Why you want to sign up? Then you cannot be so selfish lah. Okay lah. I hold private course for you lah. Yeah. Okay, so while Bibo is fixing that, right, why not I start with the Q&A first? Okay, Wan Ying, what is the maximum? Okay, Wilson, if you have the Hoseiki tree, will it clash with the issue statute? The answer is no. Don't worry about that. Okay, then as for Wan Ying, right, the maximum number of participants we will take in for per course, it should be 40 people. So if the number of people are too many, right, what we will do is that we will break up the schedule into different days. Not to worry about that. Okay, we will break up the schedule into different weeks, different days. Yeah, but for now, I think since it's a physical event, right, it should be about 40 packs. Okay, about 40 packs. Then numerology one and 八字 one, depending on which one you want to sign up. But the 八字 one will cover also face reading. So why I find it interesting is because there's a lot of people doing sales, right? They want to sign up for the 八字 and basic face reading as well, because they find face reading extremely useful for doing sales. Okay, is the course on Zoom or in person? Aaron, it is in person. Fortunately or unfortunately for everybody, but unfortunately for me, it should be in person. Okay, yeah, no, it's in person, confirm. Okay, it should work now. Face to face or virtual? Unfortunately, it is face to face for me. Okay, because yeah, then it takes up more energy. So is there a bundle for the cost? No, it's on 50% off for the super early bird discount. So there are no other things really. Cost is cost lah. So it's different from the. Yeah, where will it be held, right? It could be held in an external classroom. Maybe it can be held in our office if the packs are not too high, but it should be held in another classroom. Yeah, the form says Feng Shui. Okay, no problem. You just sign up the form first if you're interested. Phone plus 八字 plus Feng Shui without Pishu, any bundle price. Okay, for phone plus 八字plus Feng Shui, right? Without Pishu, without bracelet and Pishu, right? What you can do is that, right? You can sign up the Feng Shui package. Okay, for admin, what you can do is that you can sign up the Feng Shui package 1388, right? Then I will take away the Pishu, but I will do the phone analysis for you. Okay, then 八字 is already included in the Feng Shui already. Okay, so admin, so for you, what you can do is that you can sign up the Feng Shui package, and then I will throw in the phone for you for free, but I will remove the Pishu. Okay, that's for admin. Okay, so that's the there is no numerology option in the form. No problem. When you sign up the form, I'm not sure whether there's a way for us to, leave us a note or something. So Danny's issue is quite legit. There's no drop down button, no option for them to select maybe. Bibo, you try and solve this issue, okay? Maybe you try and help also. Wilson, so for the house Feng Shui, does it come with Hoseiki Feng Shui coin? Wilson, the coin is not expensive, so you sign up, then I can throw in for you. Not an issue. It's a very small issue. Yeah, all you have to do is to ask, but maybe my wife will phone you. I'm not sure. Okay, so Bibo say Jasmine got your details already. How many hours and class? Okay, so for the basic one is actually one entire day. So for the basic course, right, is one entire day. So it's one entire day. Sorry, I forgot to mention this. It's my bad. So for numerology, right, it's one entire day, 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock. For the basic 八字 and face reading, right, it's also one entire day from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. The numerology one, right, is much lighter in the content. Okay, but however, in the 八字 and face reading one, right, it is a lot more. There's a lot more content for it. Okay, it's much more heavier, but still, I believe one day we can cover. Then, in the expert level, right, the intermediate level is also one day, but the expert level we will lengthen it to 2 days for you because it is very complex. The classes will be held in an external classroom in the central of Singapore. If we don't have a lot of attendees, then we will hold it in our office. Matt Queen, we will send you the details soon via email. Okay, sounds good. So all the information we will be sending soon. Okay, got it. Okay, good. So Jackie, Jackie says that those yen life generating stability are supposed to be used on the 8 mentioned. How come it's being applied to a phone number? Okay, Jackie, you are right. So there are a few ways that we can use to generate numbers as well. And this number framework, right, also uses the Bagua system. Like I mentioned for you, in numbers, it is somewhat using 3 different methods. One is numerology, the second one is actually the Bagua system, and the third one is the Bazi system. Okay, so sign up the form first. Thank you. Ammon, just call me Chase. Thank you very much, and thank you so much for your signing up. Attend. Class will be taught in English. Definitely, you'll be taught in English. If I have another consultant in our team for Chinese classes, right, I'll ask her to conduct. Okay, because she's a lot more fluent. Okay, so that's that. Okay, is that all the questions? Okay, I'll go to the Q&A first. Okay. About the 42 years old lady, right? If he adopts a child, will it help to change her life? Okay. It will not. It will not change her life. It will not change her life. Wilson said recently there's new. Okay, Wilson, there are actually new bracelets that we will be launching because we have a slew of product development, coming up. So every single month we'll be launching a lot of new things. Some of them will be very limited, fortunately or unfortunately. Okay, how do we calculate 1998 into 1 and 8? Right, it's basically 1 plus 9 equals 10, and 10 is 1 plus 0, so that's 1. And it's not 18, it's 1 and 8. So 1 and 8 is different from 18. Okay, so how do we, yeah. Okay, so how do we know the missing numbers, right? It's actually from plotting out the numerology chart. So then from the numerology inverted triangle, then you must go through like 1 to 9, and there are some missing numbers. Then the numbers that are missing from that inverted triangle is somewhat your missing numbers. Is it used missing numbers as lucky numbers? Yes and no. Because missing numbers, right, have a certain synergy when you put them together. Like for example, 292 attracts lawsuit. Do you want lawsuits? Certain numbers, when you put them together, it has aggression. Would you want aggression as well? So these numbers are dangerous, and maybe it is not a good idea for you to use them. Which is why you can use the lucky numbers to somewhat. You can use the missing numbers as lucky numbers, but you need to see the synergy of the numbers as well. 42 years old, adopt child, does it change her life? Yes, of course, it does change her life, but it depends on whether or not she's a good parent. If she becomes very stressed after she takes up the child, it will make her life worse. Yes, it will change her life, but it will become worse. So we need to see like how she can handle the child as well by seeing the child luck of the person. Okay, so child luck doesn't always mean like whether or not you can have a child. Child luck also means that your interaction with the child, your synergy of the child, is it healthy or is it not? I'm born, how to see 562? Yeah, that is within the inverted triangle. Okay, is it possible to get 0 from plotting a chart? The answer is no. But you can get 0 for your handphone number, unfortunately. Why 696 will lose at old age? This is a very interesting thing. Come for our numerology class. Okay, come for our numerology class, 好不好? Then we will teach you 81 combination numbers and its pros and cons. All right, so this is I'm born. Okay, hi yo. If you do a reading with us, right, then we can analyze this for you. Okay, if we do a reading with us, then we will analyze this for you. Okay, Bagua house is based on the owner's 八字 or that of the Bagua of house is based on the owner's 八字 or that of the house facing. It is based on the house facing. Okay, it's based on the house facing. Not in that you don't. Okay, 69 increases investment luck. How about 96? Yes, it is the same. For handphone number, do we consider all numbers or just the last 4? Unfortunately, all numbers. What about people with 2 handphones? Yes, so for 2 handphones, right, we need to see what the phones are used for. Okay, understand that Hoseiki launched 999 Pure Gold Pishu. Can we upgrade our current to Pure Gold? Wilson, the answer is yes, you can do that. Zen says that the form doesn't have numerology. Okay, pretty sure that we can solve this issue for you. Not to worry about that. Is 218 a very unlucky number? Okay, 218 has a certain synergy to it, but come for our numerology class, we'll explain in detail. Okay, so Feng Shui required for rental property D. The answer is yes. If you live in it, you need it. Any alternatives if we don't want to change number? Yes, of course, we can do a 八字 analysis and we can tell you the certain route map that you can take and certain things that you can do to your daily life that can improve your luck. You can also Feng Shui your house. You can also do name change. There are other things that you can do to improve your lives. Okay, then the most basic thing that usually people do is to sign up the 八字 plus bracelet bundle. Then Bibo, can you put the bundle link over there? Thanks. So if living in a house for a while, need to change Feng Shui, need to renovate? Okay, the answer is no. we will use cost-effective methods for you. Why? Because I'm also quite well-versed in renovation. I don't own any renovation company, but I've done a lot of Feng Shui for people. And I know some ways to help clients to save money. And that's the thing that I like to do. Because I feel that if you have funds, right, spend it on your children, spend it on your wife, don't need to, renovate too much and anyhow spend. So we will use reasonable and simple methods for you to help. Okay, so I believe I just answered that question, Edmund. So Feng Shui improvement, right, we will use more simpler methods to help first. Unless there is something very, very wrong that you have done, right, then we will tell you, and maybe, I wouldn't say 100% we don't need renovation, but sometimes we do need. Okay, let me give you an example. So you have, I'm not sure whether you all know, but I Feng Shui a lot of celebrities in Singapore, which makes me very stressed because previously, I think a few weeks ago, we had the Star Awards. So, I'm very stressed. I'm afraid that I will forget to message some of them and wish them good luck. So it was a little bit of a stressful experience for me during the award ceremony. But nevertheless, what I was trying to say is that sometimes they are a little bit funny lah. And what they do is that, right, they will have open wardrobe. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? Open wardrobe. They put like one single line, right? And then they put their clothes in the open like that in their house. This is very bad for Feng Shui. And in this case, of course, might need to construct a proper wardrobe for them. It's not a walk-in wardrobe. It is literally open. Meaning to say you go into the room, right? It's just one single line that there is, and then they will hang all their clothes openly like that. Yeah. They hang all their clothes openly like that. So in this case, we need to construct the wardrobe, Edmund. So in other cases, right, as much as I can, I will try and save money for you to not renovate, but we still solve your problem. Okay? How many of us like to spend, anyhow spend? We don't, right? If you have money, go for holiday lah. Yeah, if you have money and you don't want to go for holiday, then bring your wife, go for spa lah, right? Then you massage, then she do her face, and then she massage also. Better than you spending money on senseless renovation, right? So I will always try and think for my clients and help you guys to achieve the best economic benefit. So numerology or Bazi easier to learn for beginner? Again, it depends on what you want. Why we have numerology, right, is because that there are a lot of people, right, that are non-Chinese, but they are also my clients. And for them to attend numerology, right, is good. I would say both is good for beginner, but if really beginner until you only want to go for one, right, I will tell you numerology is much easier. Confirm. Okay? Bazi is a lot more complex, but it is more fun and fulfilling. Okay, so 268 appear 2 or 3 times. Any number that appear more than once, right? Any number that appear more than once is bad. Okay, but of course, we need to see what bad is. It is very irresponsible for a consultant to say bad. We need to tell the client why bad. Okay, because if I just tell you bad, you feel very stressed and you don't know why, and it's very bad karma for any consultant. Okay. Yeah, so generally we read them in threes. Okay, generally we read them in threes. Okay, so any more questions before we go for the lucky draw? I think Bibo is like dying to do the lucky draw already because we spent a lot of hours preparing for the seminar and she's very tired. Okay, Edmund, I wouldn't say poor investment, but I would say that it's very hard to hold money at old age. Then for us to correctly analyze, I want to use the Bazi chart because the Bazi chart tells a lot of in-depth information. Okay, so it depends on which palace the 696 is at. So when we analyze the numerology cycle, right, there are 13 different palaces. Okay, how about 00 in handphone number? Joan, definitely not very good. Confirm not good. And depends on where it is as well. Okay, so 69, 61, poor investment luck, probably not, but cannot hold wealth. It depends on why you cannot hold wealth. It could be because of children. It could be because of poor investment luck. It could be because your friends take your money away. Okay, so we need to see the Bazi chart for a more in-depth analysis. Alfred, what about 2112? So 2112, right, means that this person, right, is very, very good in terms of talking and leadership. But one of the issues that this person face is that they will find that it's easy to give up. Okay, Jess, children, I only need the zodiac. Unless you want me to read their 八字, definitely I can read for them as well. That's not a problem. I only need their zodiac. But if you give them their 八字, right, I also can tell you their favorable bedhead location. Not a problem. It's a small issue. It can be solved. Jess, the answer is yes. Unfortunately, yes. But can you change the number? Very hard, right? That's why I didn't talk too much about it. Yeah. For someone who has 生气, okay, yeah, you went for that, is it? Okay, first of all, the notion of 生气, right? Not everyone truly agrees with it. Second thing is that whether or not it has true impact is a very, very debatable issue. Come for our 八字 courses and I will tell you why. Okay, then we will explain why 生气 is a very, very questionable technique. But however, I know a lot of people do it. I'm not saying that it is, I don't want to comment on it, but I just want to say that you want to know whether or not it has an impact, right? I just ask you a few questions during a 八字 session. Straight away, you know the answer already. Okay? Yeah, so HS, we have learned that from 4 different people. So, I generally only tell our very, very close clients. Okay, 八字 reading package is face-to-face. Raymond, you can request for that. But however, there can be a queue when it is face-to-face, okay? You can request for that for sure. 3992 can be a person that is successful, but one of the issues that this person can face is impulsiveness, and also the drive to get success, right, can be very, very, very tempting for this person. So the kind of issue that this person has to deal with is temptations. Okay, any other questions? If not, then I want to go about for the lucky draw. Cannot keep asking your phone number. I have to go for the lucky draw already, okay, guys? Cannot do that lah. Okay. Yeah, 不可以这样对我啦, okay? 好不好? So, shall we move on to the lucky draw, please? Bibo? So, for those of you guys, you want to find out about the phone number, sign up for the service, okay? Sign up for the service.